Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Kuchando podcast. We are back, and my name is Lenny Black Angel, and I am here with
Kuda Mpiwa.
yeah, right. So today we are. Hey, it's been a long time coming. What was going on, Kuda? Kuda went to America. You went to see Obama.
Yeah, I had to go take my annual leave in America. You know how it is. In UK, you need to go out there to get fresh
Yeah,
air.
you need to from time to time just be.
What about
Yeah.
you?
Me.
Anything special? Anything new?
Yeah, me. I was around.
Just around.
I was around. Yeah, I was around. So today we are back with a lot of hot stories. I don't know where do you want us to start? There's a lot of things going on in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, I think a lot of things going on in Zimbabwe. The first of the things is just how weak now is, throwing cars around.
Throwing.
Like toys, I think it's
First of all, maybe because there's Fantan. He came up with Wicknell. I need money. This, and that. And then you also have Sniper Storm also came up with a. Do you feel like we should also do you think you would deliver in the UK?
I think it depends with the person, but now you can see there's Shadaya, Olinda, they are against all this charade and they are calling it a charade, and it's
Wait, is Olinda against the giving out of cars, or is it probably against the other agendas of maybe it's under ZANU PF or something like that?
I think with Olinda we'll never know her intentions, but I think he felt like that money can be used for something else
or for other things.
Yeah.
And I don't feel like, do you think we should be telling grown people to how to use their money? Because it's Wicknell's money. If he wants to give whoever he wants to give to, then who are we to say give it to this one, give it to that hospital?
Yeah, like you said, I can't tell a grown man to how to handle their money, but people say that it takes a whole community to raise a child. If you see someone behaving like a child and you have urgent issues in the country, you just say, I think you can do this, you can do this. But now I saw someone who said you can use this money for certain things. Then Wicknell commented and say, you can lead by example, then I'll follow. If you buy that car for a hospital, I will lead by example.
Oh, and then I'll also buy for a hospital. Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand. So with the whole thing of him giving out cars, do you feel like it's a good thing to be giving out cars, especially to a lot of these artists? That will they be able to maintain the car? Would they be able to do you think it's a big deal, or once you have that GLE, whatever happens, you are fine as long as you have it?
Yeah. I don't want to act as if I'm bitter about the whole story. If I get a car, I get a car. The maintenance, I'll figure things out. But the question is, why are they dishing out cars like that? Why now? Why after the elections? Why now, where we can actually see the Chabangu issues and ZANU PF trying to some say it's trying to destroy the opposition party, and at the same time you are rewarding artists or people who are supporting ZANU PF. So for me now, it's just a question mark. Like, why now? And why rewarding people for ZANU PF, yet ZANU PF is being accused of trying to destroy the opposition party? That means there's an elephant in the room that we are not even seeing or don't want to address.
Or addressing. Yeah. So I feel like the whole giving out to ZANU PF people, of course, if it's his money, he can give out to people that support his cause, and stuff like that. I just feel like a lot of the people that are being given the cars and all of that, especially if Japreza gets a car.
Yes.
It's a because I remember when was this one, DJ Fantan?
Yes.
Back then he came out and said he was ZANU PF. Everyone was going after him, but then when the same thing comes to Japreza, people don't usually be like, Japreza is like this, because he's like the biggest artist in the country.
Yes.
And people don't really. So if if you give someone like Ja Preza and then you start giving every other artist, like now they recently gave Aqua to Chief Ben and those other ones that people are like, okay, I feel like these guys represent us and they are really for us. I feel like who's this one? Kandoro
Yes.
was saying the propaganda with this is so that in the future everyone will work for ZANU PF, even if it's for free, in the sense of, but after the elections I might get something out of it.
But I think the question, the actual question is, you know, people are writing to Sewikino and say, I've been working for ZANU PF ever since so and so and so and so and so. But we've been busy from MDC to MDCT to Triple C, and we are saying it's an opposition party. Youth are for the opposition party. But to my surprise, everyone is saying I've been
working in ZANU PF.
So the question is, who is against ZANU PF?
Yeah.
That's the question. Because right now, if Sewikino calls me and say, I saw you on podcast, I want to give you a Toyota Aqua. The problem is, man, I may fly to Zimbabwe to receive my car. That means I'm a ZANU PF. So that's the question. Who is Triple C? Who is ZANU PF? It's like 99% of us, we are all ZANU PF. That's what I feel now because of poverty.
I feel like the whole giving out the cars is so that 99% becomes ZANU PF. Because now you are like, so if I'm, because who's this other one, the comedian? Yeah. There was a time when he was bashing ZANU PF and then he was supporting Triple C. Yes. This other young kid, I'm sure you, Ray Vines. There was a time. Now he actually came out and started saying, oh, no, Triple C, this. Because after he also supported Triple C, they didn't win. But on top of not winning, they never did anything for him. But if he had supported ZANU PF and publicly went out, yes, you saw Wellington, you got like a Range Rover, and then now you are seeing everyone else is getting Aquas and GLE, Mercedes, yes, and all of that. So I feel like the whole point is so that everyone now becomes ZANU PF. And I feel like it goes back to the statement that says, make it to fake it till you make it, or if you can't beat them, join them. So if you cannot beat them, then that's the whole thing. Just join.
That's the whole thing. But it shows that we have a serious issue. We have a serious problem in Zimbabwe. If everyone can be bought, if your future can be bought with the $200,000, that means we have a serious issue in Zimbabwe.
Yeah, we have also.
And it gives ZANU PF confidence that we are not going anywhere. Because if a bigger star, like your role model is being bought by a $25,000 car, a bigger prophet, or I saw Matsbaba begging and say, Mr. Sewikino, this and this. But we grew up listening to these guys, and now we are seeing they are actually selling our future.
But I feel like it goes to like point out where the Zimbabwean industry is, like the entertainment industry in Zimbabwe. We've seen like Gringo, when they were dying, they were like asking for money, and they didn't have money for hospital bills and all of that. It's just sad to see that a lot of our artists, because if you look at someone like Ja Preza, like perfect example, Macheso is like the god in terms of music.
Yes.
He is like there. And then if you actually look at it in a way, Macheso, he should have a lot of money for him to be buying his own GLE. Right now you should just go to Germany, buy a GLE, pay his duty, bring it in. But then because I don't know how much money he has now, because he has like a lot of kids and all of that, but he was very grateful and humble when he was receiving that car. So I wouldn't want to say he can't afford it on his own, because probably he can. But then artists like Ja Preza should be, like, if you look at South Africa, Casper Nyovest, and if you look at Ja Preza is like the biggest artist in Zimbabwe. Yes. And he's been consistently like that for so many years. If you look at what Casper has in South Africa in terms of money, Ja Preza, you'd be like, he should have even way more. He should be driving a Bentley. He should have a Lamborghini. He should have this. I'm probably is humble enough not to buy those things if he has that money. But it's not a lot of artists from Zimbabwe that you can be like, oh, this one can buy a Lamborghini. I don't even think even one artist can just go and buy a Lamborghini like that. So I feel like it goes to show that we now need a Sewik now to buy, like, these artists cars, and they say colors that, like, Say Colors is one of the biggest artists. There was a time when he was with Soldier Love, and then they were going at it. He shouldn't be asking for a GLE. He should have the money to just buy his own GLE. I don't know.
I think you are right on that point. You are right, but now it also goes to how we are handling our industry. I saw someone saying that, if you see a Nigerian video, if you see a Nigerian artist, they are not competing with their fellow Africans. They're actually competing with American artists. You can see, like, you see Burna Boy. You can actually see this guy is actually competing with the Americans. So now the music now is giving him a platform. He can borrow money if you want to borrow money. He can earn money in America. He can earn money in the UK. He can earn money in Nigeria. But our artists, I think 99% of our artists, they are focusing in Harare, Masvingo, Shabani. So how best can you?
But I feel like, is it a matter of our artists are not, like, being wide range and being global and all of that, or it's a matter of us as Zimbabwe? Look, if you look at, even if back in the day, the Sungura days, you had the John Chibandura, them, were they like that global? I don't think they were global. If you look at Oliver Mtukudzi, he's the only person that was like really global in the Stella Chiweshes and them. But even when they went to the global sense, it wasn't a matter of they were filling up the Madison Square Garden, which Burna Boy fills up. They were like going to performing like festivals, and a lot of those people, they know who Oliver Mtukudzi is, but they wouldn't know word for word his music. They would know, okay, there's an Oliver Mtukudzi that's coming to perform. We like this guy. We like his vibe. We like his music, but they don't really know word for word a lot of those lyrics, and it's not really on a massive scale that he's going to be like that famous. So it's usually the diasporans and the white people that are actually interested in this music that we are making, that actually go and listen to him. But on a wide scale, that we are now global, and I don't think it was ever like that with Zim.
I think like what we are saying here is that if you see those guys, their songs have been, it's just a guitar and a bass. The English people or the foreigners will listen to the guitar, but if you see the words, they are in our local language most of the time. I don't know, I think it's Burna Boy who was trying to make it in America. Then Akon advised him, like, if you go to Africa, they will make you a mega star. But if you want to compete here, you're going to compete with everyone. You become a normal artist. This guy came from America, going back to his roots. We need to change the narrative whereby we have an upcoming artist here in Harare, trying to grow in Harare. You are singing in Shona, then after 5 years you wanna switch in English. People will be like, what's going on with this guy? But if we embrace you, like how Confused was doing, we embrace you like this guy is coming from UK and is coming to our market. People will embrace you like that. People are embracing Confused videos just like that, because it was coming from another global platform, coming to you and say, you know what, I can shoot this type of video. People are half naked, it's fine. People embrace that. But if you're coming from Glenview and you start shooting naked videos, people are not going to watch that. They'll be like, this guy is
but do you feel like the reason why Burna Boy, Wizkid, they made it into the America end, because Wizkid had a top 10 single, Rema recently with Selena Gomez had a top 10 single. Do you think Selena Gomez is actually jumping onto that song if that song was not in English? Do you think a lot of these Americans would actually be singing a sad song like Last and understanding like Last, but then if it was in like Nigerian or their native language, I don't think those Americans would react the same way, because a lot of these songs that have made it in America from Africans is actually English. Like recently Taylor, she won a Grammy. Her song was in the top 10 Billboard in America, which is huge. And now in South Africa, now they are actually taking it way further. You see, because of what? Because of that. But would she have done that? Would she have made it in there? Because a lot of Americans are actually shocked. Oh, she's from South Africa. Because they thought it's their upcoming artist, one of theirs that is actually coming up. So I feel like the English part helps Nigeria, because a lot of Nigeria, even with their language, they have their own type of language of English that they talk. You see, when they're talking their English, it's like a mixture of English and then they put their own, you see. So I feel like that has actually assisted them to global success.
Yeah, so I think why can't we copy that structure? I'm jumping outside the topic, but if you this system works everywhere, even in football. If you are grown up here as a Zimbabwean and you start to play for Manchester, people will embrace you thinking that you are their own upcoming football star. But if someone who has more talent than me is coming from Zimbabwe, this environment will not embrace you. They'll be like, it's another Zimbabwean trying to make it in the UK. But if I'm a Zimbabwean trying to make, and I'm born here, they'll be like, there's a chance you can play for England. You see. But once I say, no, I'm from Zimbabwe, then it's different. So our artists should be, how many times our artists have come to the UK? They've done a Holy 10, but who has done a collab with a British artist?
No one.
Since
the Dave, the Stormzy's.
For the past 10 years, they're coming in the UK. But how many artists do we have here?
But I think it goes to show that when they are in the UK, they are not performing for the people in the UK. They are performing for us, the diaspora in the UK. So it's not really like you are just coming to the UK, which is a place. But in terms of market, it's just the same as you are in Zimbabwe. That's why there's this guy from Black Motion. You are saying when we go outside the country, because in South Africa, a lot of shows, they get paid like a lot of money. When we go outside of South Africa, we get paid less than when we are in South Africa. But the whole point now for going outside is for us to be like, we are touring London. We are now in the United States. Now it looks scary when you're posting it there on social media, like London, Birmingham, London, Birmingham, London, Leeds, and then next New York. Now you are in Sweden. Now you are in Australia. But then in terms of money wise, you are saying, if all of those shows were in South Africa, we would actually be getting paid way more than what we are getting paid there. But then there they'll be like, it's just an opportunity. You are just a thing like that. So a lot of the times, artists shouldn't really be like, now we're going to perform in. I feel like it's the diaspora performance. It's just for diasporans.
Just for diasporans. But I think we are falling in the trap. We have footballers who actually came here to play Dynamos versus Cape United. Someone actually saw it as an opportunity to change their lives, and they're still here. You see, as an artist, I think you should have that ambition of saying, okay, I'm in this environment. They are paying me less, but if I can talk to my promoter, like, don't pay me at all. Just find me even an average rapper in the UK. Let's just feature my local song and whatever their English rap. But even if you don't receive anything, you are now on the map. If someone sees you in the street, exposure. Someone sees you in the street, like, I know that guy. He's saying.
But I feel like I can say Natty O. When Natty O first came up, he was singing in English. And people didn't really receive him that way. Like, he had the Bugatti, he had those, he had English records that were like, you could be like, okay, this guy is sounding like, Jamaica and them, but people were not receiving him. And then Natty O decided, okay, I'm gonna do Shona. And then he came up with the Andipere Power, those records, and that album flew. It flew like it took off because he changed to the Shona. So when we bring the English, Zimbabweans do not want to receive it. When we bring the Shona, they receive it. Then you expect someone like Natty O to be listened to in the United States, but they're not going to understand Andipere Power because they can't hear anything. So they'll be like, okay, we like this music, but we can't hear anything. What percentage of the Americans are you going to take? What percentage of the native British people are you going to take that are going to be like, okay, we're just going to listen? Because a lot of people do not listen to music that they do not understand. They are that few that are like, okay, we are going to support that person even though we do not hear what they are singing. So when we want our artists to go further, Natty O has the potential. We have to allow him to make big English songs, because when you're looking at Burna Boy, those English songs did not just blow up in America. Angelina, it started in Nigeria, blew up, and then America was like, they picked it up, and then it became big, you see.
Yeah, I think, but I have a question for you. Do you think in Zimbabwe we actually have artists that can make it in the top 20 in Africa? As
in
a
Africa.
region. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like
And,
Japreza, of course, he sings in Shona. If he was to put the same energy, of course, it's kind of different. He was to put the same energy, he would actually make it. You saw that he did the
yes,
song with Davido, My
Diamond
Lily.
Platinum. But I feel like we are far from that. Why? Because right now, an upcoming artist in Nigeria, if they put a hit song, even as Zimbabweans, we are playing it every day.
Yeah, we're playing.
But I don't, with the career.
Yeah,
that,
with Japreza, whenever he used to collaborate, maybe Diamond Platinums,
see.
you wouldn't perform, you wouldn't fill up a stadium there.
You
You
see
would
now.
bring Diamond Platinums at
Yeah,
HICC.
you see now.
Even
That's-
he brought Diamond Platinums at HICC. He brought Pato Ranking at HICC. Not him going there. So
I always feel like we are still far. With the career that Wingidi has covered for 20 years, you don't hear him filling a stadium in Lagos.
yeah,
But anytime upcoming artist in South Africa comes to Zimbabwe, we can go and fill HICC. So that means it's hard to admit it.
even the Mellow and Sleazy,
You see,
still maybe 1 year or less than 1 year in the industry, they're pulling
You
up.
see.
You see all of
You
these
see,
South African guys.
well, what's the name of this guy who's South African guy who's dancing? The dancer, this South African guy, is Skomota. Is it Skomota?
Oscar Mota,
Yeah,
he
Skomota.
actually came to
Yeah,
see him.
you see, but
What does he even do?
You see,
Nothing.
but we have a dancer. Maharare can dance those type of
Yeah,
dances.
but
can
he
go and
cannot
fill
go that
Johannesburg
side.
Stadium?
Yeah,
He can't.
cannot.
So I think
And
there's-
Skomota is not even a dancer because he's like, well, allegedly, we wouldn't know, but he's like, those mentally disturbed and
Yes.
all of that.
Yes.
So yeah, he won like a betting. He won money through betting, and then I think it was millions of rands, and then after that he just became the rich guy and all of that.
You see now,
That's where the story comes, and then now he's already performing.
He's famous. He's now famous as someone who was in the industry in Zimbabwe for more than 15
for more
years.
than a lot of time. Yeah.
So there is a problem in our industry, but until we are ready to face it, we can't address it.
Yeah, we cannot go with it. Yeah.
You see, so yeah.
Yeah. So okay, we wanted to talk about a little bit of politics, but maybe we'll talk about that on the next one. So now we can just throw in a little bit of things like so we do have eras in Zimbabwe when it comes to music. We already on the music topic. Might as well just run with it. We have eras in music. So you have the Zim Danso era, you have the Urban Grooves era, you have the Sungura era. I think there was a gospel era. Gospel is kind of hard,
Yes,
but then there's the Charamba, the My Sulumani. It was like an era, and then you have the new hip hop era.
Yes.
That is currently, I think pretty much those about, because Oliver Mtukudzi is not really an era, because it just span. And then Chimurenga music, I don't know if there was an era. I think when Chinks was at the top of his game together, I think maybe that's the era. Which era do you think had the most impact? Looking at its period and how it impacted the youth, the ghetto youth, maybe even including the suburbs and all of that. Which era had like the most impact?
I think it also comes with the generations, like which generation do I belong? Because now if I say the Ibn Groove made an impact, the AMA 2000 will hit me with a remote. Now,
No, but the Urban Grooves came with 90% local music.
Yes.
With Jonathan Moyo,
Moyo.
and then it actually a lot of music that we have now
Yes.
that is playing for us to actually listen to our own local music and enjoy it.
yes,
If Urban Grooves did not play and did not become a hit back then, I don't think we would understand our own music like that.
yes,
Because it was just Sungura, like the now you've got hip hop, you've got the Takuras with the R&B and all of that.
Yes.
That is like playing now. Even dancehall on its own as well.
yes.
Urban Grooves kind of like lightened our ears, so it could be fair.
Yeah, it could be fair. But now, that being said, I feel like Sungura has made impact.
It is the most.
The issue, the most, yeah. The fact that our grandparents and our parents managed to pass it to us, like generation
But now
to generation.
it's not really, because
it's-
the Macheso and
Is it-
Tongai Moyo era
Yes.
is like the last era of Sungura.
But me listening to Leonard Shakata's song now, it's more probable than me listening to how do you call it? Is it decibel song now? Having an AMA 2K now playing a decibel song in my car, they seem not to be interested. But if I play a Lena Shagara song, they might enjoy it
because it's like up tempo.
So I feel like that era made an impact and is still trying to survive around how these eras are coming. You can actually play Sungura in your car, and everyone enjoys it, even a 14-year-old child. But you can't play Decibel now. And they say,
No, but I feel like in terms of empowering the youth and also making sure, because now we have in South Africa they have Amapiano. Amapiano has made sure that even the average youth can actually jump in, and of course it also has to do with the industry space that we are in with the social media. It's easier for you to just make a beat and post it online and people like it. So I feel like with the urban grooves, it was easier for a lot of these young kids to just group up in like the Chamembe era, to just group up in a studio and just start recording music, and then it flies. And you didn't have to have super huge talent for you to also be able to make it. I feel like with the Zimdenso era as well, it's also the same.
Yes.
It also brought up a lot of kids. You'd see someone from Bare there, nothing in their pocket. They just go $20. Probably the producer is selling a beat for $20, pay for a rhythm. And Zimdenso is also an advantage. In one beat, you can have like 200 artists.
Of course.
So now the whole rhythm. So it actually empowered a lot of these kids to, be able to, which I'm not sure. I wasn't there in Sungura era, but I don't think everyone could just do Sungura like that.
I think I agree.
Or it has to do with eras.
I think I agree that we used to get beaten for singing Soja Love songs because the language was not appropriate. But the fact that they managed to come to our minds and to colonize our brain, and everyone was knowing Soja Love.
And how many Zimdenso artists do you know made it? If there are even others like Boom Beto, they only have one song or whatever, but they made it. Who's this guy? Mudendere. You see these guys, they like a lot of people made it from Zimdenso.
And I think is it my Samba show? People complaining that every song I'm getting in, I'm boarding, people are playing po Kilati or Soja Love or. There was the time whereby every song you see is Zimdanso.
It's just Zimdanso.
Every car you see is Zimdanso. And to the extent people were complaining. Even in schools, teachers used to send you a letter, like go and give this letter to your parents. Like, your child knows every lyrics for Soja Love, but you can't even solve a simple math equation. So I think it's one of an era that made it.
So say top 3: Sungura, Zimdanso, and Urban Grooves.
Urban Grooves.
Yeah. Oh,
Urban Grooves.
So that brings us to the end of today's podcast. Be sure to catch us on the next one. We are Kuchando podcast, and this is Lenny Black Angel. I'm here with Kuda.
Kuda
Mpiwa. Okay. On the next one, please make sure to subscribe, share, like, comment, share with your wife and your girlfriend as well. And no, I'm joking.
Your wife and your girlfriend as well. Give us in trouble.